years ago, I was teaching a group of young adults. It just happened that they were all white. I'm sure you have noticed that I am black. Yeah? Whilst the students were getting on quietly with an activity, one young man suddenly announced to the whole group, and to me in particular, that he saw my sister on the bus. Whatever his motivation was, it was clear that he was trying to score a cheap point in front of his mates by devaluing me. I had only a few moments to decide the best way to deal with the situation. I was confident in my own identity and my worth as a human, highly valued by God. So I was not offended, or better still, I chose not to take offense. I decided to treat it as a teaching opportunity. I have a tendency to do that. So I replied, quite pleasantly, as a matter of fact. Well, imagine that. I have been running into a lot of your brothers lately. He got the message. The others told him off for being rude. He apologized profusely and never again tried to devalue me. Hopefully, a lesson well learned. What about you? How many times have you heard this kind of talk? You all look alike. Sadly, many people not only talk like that, but they actually believe what they are saying, especially if they consider themselves superior to the other group they are referring to. It is this kind of thinking that enables so many to commit terrible atrocities against tens, thousands, and even millions of others. Herding people together makes it easy to dehumanize them and therefore justify treating them badly. Think of the brutality of slave traders and slave owners in times past. All the Nazis who were able to destroy the lives of millions of men, women, and children for no other reason than they were of a different race and ethnicity, or maybe religion even. There are, of course, the modern human traffickers. Not much has changed, really. All these people and those who dehumanize others can only victimize people if they first numb their own consciences by convincing themselves that their victims are inferior in some way. And so, in our modern world, we still have racism, sexism, ageism, tribalism, anti-Semitism. The list goes on and on and on and on. Devaluing the individual and dehumanizing whole groups of people would also make them easier to dominate and control. You may have seen some of those movies where clones are mass produced and individuals are therefore disposable, like pawns in a game of chess. People suffer extreme rejection, which leads to shame until living with deeply seated shame becomes normal, even sometimes passed on from generation to generation. People may then subconsciously accept that they are not worth it, that they don't matter, they're inferior. So they then behave collectively in the safest possible way, like clones. individuals become insignificant and dispensable parts of one collective, maybe even controlled by a dictator or a group that has somehow attained dominance. Any attempt of an individual to think for themselves in that situation or question orders is quashed severely. You can probably think of some examples. I'm sure I can think of many. Rejection by devaluing someone also happens in families, even among peers and at work. Abuse in the social media makes it all much worse. In that case, people are devalued and shamed in front of a much wider audience, multiplying the damage. People that already have issues with insecurity often act out by devaluing people around them in order to feel better about themselves. It is all such a mess. The message passed on to the victim boils down to this: you are insignificant. You are not worth it. You don't count. You don't matter. But that is not the truth. The truth is, you do matter. I matter. Just think for a moment about the fact that our Creator makes so many things unique, each uniquely beautiful and valuable. We are reliably informed by people who have taken the time to study them that each snowflake is different and beautiful. When we look at sand on a beach, we just see one color, don't we? Kind of disregard what we're stepping on. And yet, each particle of sand, when magnified many times, is seen to be unique and oh, so beautiful. Apparently, no two sand particles are the same. Wow, what an intentional creator, who is not only able to make each sand particle or snowflake different from others, but also has the power to see to it that duplication never happens. Consider the power of God and marvel. And these are inanimate things. What about you and I? There are so many things about each human that would distinguish him or her from all others. Each one amazingly unique. Even among siblings, we have DNA, fingerprints that distinguish us from each other, earlobes, and even the scent of individuals. Hence, they can be tracked by trained dogs, distinguish one person from another by their scent. The fact that our Creator has seen to it that each person is unique indicates how valuable each one is. This is confirmed. It's confirmed in so many texts in the Bible. For example, in Psalm 139, verses 13 and 14, we find this: For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. So no matter what self-serving narrative the world around us and the people around us want us to believe by their words and general ill treatment of us, we can be sure that we matter to God, our Creator. So, if you have been devalued in the past, or if you're experiencing rejection by someone, or some people attempting to devalue you, counter their words and their behavior by turning to God, who says that you do matter. It makes perfect sense that what our Creator says trumps the opinions of all other humans, even if they all stand together against you. Only God's opinion counts in the end. You cannot control and should not try to control the behavior of others. But you can control how you think, which will then affect what you feel. Then you can take appropriate action. But what is appropriate? It still comes down to what God says is appropriate. If you don't follow God's will, you could become part of the problem, devaluing others. You cannot know what God says is appropriate if you do not have a genuine relationship with Him, so He can guide you with His Word and His Spirit, who comes to live in the spirit of those who willingly submit to Him. It is necessary to repent of doing things our own way and put our trust in Jesus for forgiveness of sins and for ongoing salvation from all the bad effects and consequences of living in this world that is so messed up because of rebellion against God. If you have been devalued, listen to God and resolve to live according to His will. You may then hold your head high anywhere because you do matter. I hope you have found this session helpful. I will address another common form of rejection next session. It will be about abandonment. Bye for now, and may God bless you.